Hey there, yogis and yoga teachers. How are you? My name is Crystal Gray, and I'm the creator of the Yoga Goddess Academy, as well as the Crystal Gray Yoga Method monthly membership for yoga teachers or aspiring yoga teachers. In today's practice, I will be giving you a little sample of something that I do on in my membership site every single week. It's a 60-minute class that really helps you to learn how to teach the sequence of the week. So every week I put out a new downloadable sequence, which you can get in the membership. There's a free 7-day trial as well. The link's in the description. And it really just helps to take a lot of the guesswork out of creating a new, inspiring, fun class each and every week. But today's practice is all about helping you and your students to overcome overwhelm, feelings of not being good enough, not doing enough, not being enough, something that a lot of us really struggle with. So I really hope that this video helps. At the end of class, please let me know in the comments if it did help, if you feel just a little bit better, and let me know if you plan to use this in your weekly yoga classes if you're teaching already. The only props that you'll need are 2 blocks and a strap. If you don't have any blocks, that's okay. I'm going to give you an alternative to roll up your yoga mat for the beginning heart opener instead. We will be adding in some mantra, one mantra, a mudra, and just some different fun things. Again, if you want the downloadable sequence, make sure you go get the free 7-day trial, then you can download the sequence and you can cancel at any time if it's not what you need. In today's practice, we'll be focusing on gratitude so that we can let go of overwhelm and stress and feelings of not being good enough, not doing enough, not being enough, because you are. So a great place to focus is in the heart center and focus on gratitude so that we can bring in more things, we can attract more things into our life to be grateful for. All right, so go ahead and grab your 2 blocks for this practice. You'll need 2 blocks and a strap or something you can use as a strap. If you don't have blocks, you can take a yoga mat and just roll it up and then put that along the spine. Okay, that can work instead of the blocks, but we'll be starting in a heart opener. Okay, so how I like to do this one is the first block will be under the head. That'll be on the medium height. Okay, and then the next block will be about a block's width away from the other one on the low height, give or take. So I usually do walk around and look at my students from the side and make sure that the blocks are in the right spot. Okay, so then from here you can start to lay back. I would demo this one first. Lay back. You really want the block on the opposite side of the chest, okay, on the shoulder blades. Roll the shoulders under the back, and then the head can go onto the other block, okay? Make sure again that the block's not up too high, because then that's going to jut the shoulders forward, and you don't want the block too low, because then that'll compress the low back. Okay, so just directly on the other side of the spine. Now here, feet can be wide, knees together, or you can have them extend the legs out, feet fall out to the sides. Really whatever feels best for them. I personally like to keep the knees bent and then have the feet wide, knees together. It just feels better for me. So then you can close your eyes after you get comfortable. Starting in this heart opener so that we can bring awareness to the heart center, not only the front of the heart, but the back of the heart as well. So that entire kind of chest cavity area. Start by taking some cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Then as it feels good, if it feels good to you, you can breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Expanding the ribs in every direction as you inhale. And soften as you exhale. Again, expand on your inhale, soften on the exhale. So instead of focusing on releasing overwhelm, letting go of stress, letting go of feelings of not being enough, let's really focus on the positive. Let's focus on gratitude. So bring into your mind something that you are grateful for, something that really brings you like a feeling of bliss. This could be a pet, could be a loved one, it could be your favorite activity, could be traveling somewhere. Just really bring that into your heart. Maybe it's your house. Just bring in the feeling of gratitude. Maybe you've overcome something in your life and that really makes you feel gratitude. Whatever you need to kind of initiate that feeling. Once you've initiated that feeling and locked into that feeling of gratitude, you can let the circumstance or the material item go and then just really focus on the feeling of gratitude. And almost like you're feeling a warm, fuzzy sensation in the heart center and it's growing and growing and growing, cultivating this feeling of gratitude. As you do this, let your lips form a slight smile. Doesn't have to be a big one, just not frowning. Focus on making that feeling of gratitude bigger. So we're not faking it. We're feeling that emotion, that feeling of gratitude, and then we're cultivating it, making it bigger by our awareness and our attention to it. Another good way to do this is to say thank you, thank you, thank you, just in your mind. Thank you for another day on this planet. Thank you for another day of having an able body to be able to do a yoga practice. Thank you for all the blessings in my life, no matter how big or small. Thank you for every part of my journey that has helped me to end up right here in this present moment. Good. And then take a cleansing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then if you're on the rolled up mat, you can roll off onto the right-hand side and take a couple of breaths there before you come to seated. But if you're on the blocks, I would just start to tuck the chin, bring the hands on either side of you, slowly start to push yourself up to seated. You can keep your eyes closed or just softly open them if needed to come into the correct position. Come into a cross-legged pose and pull the flesh away from the sitting bones. Coming into Sukhasana or whatever variation of a cross-legged pose feels good for you. Bring the hands together in front of the heart into Anjali Mudra. Again, bringing awareness at the heart center. Keeping or coming back to that feeling of gratitude now. Let's do one Om to begin the practice. Take a deep breath in. Good. And then you can bring your hands down to your knees. Let your head hang forward as you exhale. Keep the spine straight, but just let the head hang heavy. Keep the shoulders pulled back a little bit. Roll the head over to the right. Let the right ear hang towards the right shoulder. Roll the head forward and over to the left. Forward and to the right. And forward and to the left. Good. Bring the head back down to center. Let it hang. Take a breath. At any time, taking a cleansing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Blink the eyes open and slowly lift your head. All right, so from here, you have the option to move into the mantra. The mantra that I chose for today is Rama Da Sa Sa Se So Hung. Okay, So sometimes people go like this, Rama, da, sa, sa, se, so, hung, okay? So sometimes people do like that. So you can do that touching the tips of the fingers if you like, if that resonates with you, or you can just keep your palms open or hands to the heart. I'm going to keep my hands at the heart since this is the mudra that I chose for today's practice. So this mantra or chant is great for healing on all levels, and we use it to bring awareness to our heart chakra and to help us cultivate that feeling of gratitude in today's practice. It really literally means sun, moon, earth, infinity, all that is infinity, I am thee. All right. So you can have your eyes open or closed. If you printed out today's class plan, then you can follow the words along with me, but it's pretty easy. You'll get the hang of it. Okay, so we'll do it 3 times. Rama da sa sa se so hung. Rama da sa sa se so hung. One more. Rama da sa sa se so hung. Just take a moment, notice how you feel. Let that sink in. And then lower your head slightly, blink your eyes open, and lift your head. Okay, so I just kind of made up that medley so you can feel melody. So you can feel free to go onto YouTube and find a little melody, like notes, different notes that you like to sing it as. But I just made that up. So whatever resonates with you is totally fine. All right, so from here, let's do seated cat-cow back in our Sukhasana. Okay, so this is our first vinyasa where we are linking the movement to the breath. So holding onto the knees, inhale, arch the back, look up. Exhale, round the back, pull on the knees to feel the stretch in between the shoulder blades. Inhale, arch, stick the booty out, lift the tailbone. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, pull on the knees. Good, do a couple more rounds, work with your breath. Breathing in and out through the nose, but always feeling free to take a cleansing breath as needed. If you'd like to begin utilizing your Ujjayi breath, you can do that, valving the back of the throat, making that sound from the throat, not the nose. Okay, good. And then come back to center. We're just going to do one more pose here, cow face pose arms. So you can either stay seated in Sukhasana, or what I'm actually going to do is grab the blocks and then come into a Virasana onto 1 or 2 blocks. So for that one, you bring the 1 or 2 blocks in between the ankles, bring the ankles to the blocks, and then sit on the top blocks. Knees are pointing straight forward, toes are pointing straight back. So if you look at your thighs, it's making a number 11. So I'm just turning this way so that you can see what I'm doing with my arms. I try not to turn away from my students as much as possible, but for this one, you kind of have to. Okay, so bring your right arm up beside your ear, bend the right elbow. Okay, keep the arm in by the head, don't let it come out. Now your left hand comes behind you with your palm facing away. Hold on to the strap. Now what we're going to do is pull the bottom hand up the spine, and now see how this hand's really high. I'm going to walk the top hand down towards the other one. Maybe eventually being able to make a bind, but don't ruin your form just to get that. Don't round the back, don't jut the chin forward, okay? Lift the chest, pull the chin back in space. Breathe here. Relax the forehead, relax the jaw. This is a really good one to, again, bring some awareness into the heart center, opening up the shoulders and the chest. Okay, release that, and then just move your arms around a little bit. I always feel kind of weird whenever I come out of that one. I like to come out of it really slow and then just bring in some gentle movements. Okay, other side. So strap in your left hand, left arm up, bend the elbow. Right hand comes behind, palm facing away, grab onto the strap. Okay, pull the bottom hand up, walk the hands closer together. Just again, repeat that and breathe. Only going to where it feels good for you. In today's practice, I will give you different options to make the class a little bit easier or a little bit harder, depending on the level that you are teaching. Release. Okay, move the arms around, move your head around as needed. Place the strap off to the side. Move the blocks off to the side if you are using those. And come onto your hands and knees into a tabletop. From here, bring your knees as wide as the mat. Big toes can touch. Let's come into a thread the needle. So thread the right arm under the left. Okay, my left elbow, your left elbow will stay pointing up. You're going to push into the back of the right arm and hand to feel more of a stretch in the right shoulder. Push into the left hand as well to really roll the top shoulder open and back. Breathe here. You might feel this in the shoulder. You might feel this in the spine. Let the head relax down onto the mat. Okay, come back up to center. Let's inhale here. And then exhale, go in the other direction. Push the back of the left arm and hand into the mat. And then push into the right hand to roll the top shoulder open. Left side of the head is on the ground. Breathe here. Okay, and come back up to center. Very good. Bring the knees towards the center. All right, so from here, we're going to come into puppy dog pose. So again, depending on the level of your class, you may or may not use the blocks. For level 1, you'll probably use the blocks. For level 2, 3, you don't really need to, but we're coming into puppy dog pose or anahatasana. So anahata is the Sanskrit for the heart chakra, so anahatasana. So this is a really good pose for the heart chakra. So I usually demo this one first. For puppy dog pose, your hips pretty much stay right above your knees. So I come down onto the elbows like this first. Then I kind of walk the elbows forward so that I'm more on my triceps, okay? From there, you can bring your palms together, point the fingers up, let the chest drop down towards the mat as well as the forehead. So you can either do that variation or regular puppy dog pose where you're just reaching the arms out. Most people will just have the forehead onto the ground. Most people aren't just going to be able to bust out into full anahatasana with the chest on the ground and the chin forward. But again, that's going to depend on the level of students in your class. So just breathe here, focusing on melting the chest down, the forehead down. Breathe. As you can see, bringing a lot of awareness into the heart center. Let's create an affirmation here. If it works for you and resonates with you, it could be, I feel gratitude easily and often, or often and easily. I feel gratitude on the inhale, exhale, often and easily. Inhale, I feel gratitude. Exhale, often and easily. One more breath. Okay, now use your abs to come out of this. So navel towards the spine, start tucking the tailbone. That'll just help you to more gracefully come out of that pose. Okay, and then let's come into downward facing dog. Finally, our first downward facing dog of the day. Spread the fingers apart, push the knuckles down into the mat, walk your knees back, pointer fingers pointing straight forward, curl the toes under, lift the knees up and push the hips up and back. Really pushing it to the knuckles, sending the hips up and back so you're in a straight line from the wrists all the way up to the hips. We don't want an angle at the armpit. Okay, breathe here and let's walk the dog, waking up the backs of the legs. Just alternate, bending and straightening. Hearing a lot of snap, crackle, and pops today, so totally normal if that happens to you as well. Remember, take cleansing breaths as needed. Okay, from here you can lightly walk or hop to the front of the mat. It's kind of early in class for hopping, but again, level 2, 3 might be fine. So come into your Tadasana or your mountain pose feet, either big toes touching or feet just about fist width apart. Hands to your shins. Inhale, reach the crown of the head forward, either hands on the shins or on the ground, wherever your students need to go to get a straight spine. On the exhale, fold. Feel free to bend the knees. Push into the feet, look out in front of you first, and then inhale, rise all the way up. Circle the arms out to the sides and overhead, palms touch. Exhale, draw the hands down through center, back into our mudra of the day, Anjali Mudra. Breathe. Find your gazing point, push into all four corners of the feet. Think about really drawing that energy up towards the heart center, bringing all of the awareness there. I feel gratitude often and easily. Stay focused on your gazing point and your affirmation for another round. Good, arms down by the side. So we're moving into flow number 1. There will be a couple options. We're going to go through to the level 2, 3, but I'll tell you where to stop for level 1. Okay, feel free to add in some more heat to this flow by adding a chair at the beginning, at the end of every time you come up here to standing to mountain. You can then also add in a chair. Okay, so exhale, ground down into the feet. I'm not going to do that though. Okay, inhale, reach your arms up, but it's an option. Exhale, let's bring the hands down through center today. Coming into your forward fold, release the hands. Inhale, come into your monkey pose. Draw the chest forward, shoulders back. Exhale, walk to plank or hop to chaturanga. Make your way to a back bend. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, navel to spine, hips up and back. So like I said, I'm doing a little bit more of a level 2, 3 flow today. That's why I just hopped back to my chaturanga. But remember, you can always just step back to plank, push forward, lower down, inhale cobra, exhale down, inhale push up to plank, exhale downward facing dog. You are a yoga teacher, so you know how to listen to your body. You know where you should be. Okay, big toes touch here. Inhale, reach your right leg up and back. And then exhale, bring the foot through low lunge. Okay, if you're level 2, 3, try not to lift the heel of the hand as you bring the foot through. So you're really going to have to focus on rounding the back, Uddiyana Bandha, navel towards the spine. Bring the foot through. Okay, then we're going to flatten the back foot. Windmill the arms up, coming into Virasana 2. Sorry, I'm just getting over a cold. So I know that I look backwards to you, all right? But the right knee is bent, the right knee is right on top of the ankle, back toes turned in slightly, right heel in line with the arch of the back foot, level out the pelvis, keep the knee on top of the ankle. Don't let that sucker turn in because it'll want to. Keep it back, okay? Again, level out the pelvis, arms up, and then gaze out through the right middle finger. Breathe here. Say the Sanskrit with me, Virasana 2. Good. Now interlace your hands behind your back for Yoga Mudra. Okay, big shoulder roll. We're not doing a back bend, navel towards the spine, but start to pull your arms away from your back a little bit. Then from here, bring your hands over to your left side. Again, I know I look opposite of you, and then squeeze the elbows towards each other. Okay, let the head fall to the left. So you're feeling a stretch in the right side of the neck. Good. All right, release that. Reach the arms out. Straighten the right leg. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, reach forward. Bring the right hand below the right knee. Start to slide the right hand down. Left arm can go up. Trikonasana. So only letting your students bring the right hand down as far as they can go without the left shoulder dumping in, right? Both shoulders are stacked directly on top of each other. Feel free to have students use blocks. Again, that's going to be your call, and you feel free to use your blocks today. You want to look at the side body of your students here. Make sure that the side is nice and straight, not rounded. Don't let the head fall. Okay, keep the neck in line with the spine, and breathe here. Trikonasana. Okay, so if you're doing level 1, I would stop here after your triangle. Okay, and then I would just go back to down dog or have them flow through vinyasa again. Otherwise, what we're going to do is we're going to bring both hands down on either side of the right foot. So bend the right knee. We're in a low lunge. Okay, hold here for a breath, getting into the back quad maybe and the hip flexor. And then we'll walk to a side plank. So keep the left hand down. Then walk the right foot over to the right, coming onto the knife edge of the left foot. Lift the hips up. Right arm can go up. Either stay there or stack the feet. Of course, they could go to different variations here in your side plank. Vashistasana. Say it with me. Vashistasana. Okay, release. Downward facing dog, full stretch. Either stay there or move through vinyasa. I'll do a level 2 variation. Inhale, come forward. Exhale to 90 degrees with the elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. Please don't do that if you're not ready. Engage your abs. Exhale, hips up and back. From here, inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, bring it through low lunge. Don't lift the heel of the hand. Okay, Uddiyana Bandha. Flatten the back foot. Windmill the arms up. Virasana 2. Left heel in line with the arch of the left leg. Left heel in line with the arch of the back foot. Left knee pointing straight forward. Arms parallel to the ground for a couple breaths. I feel gratitude often and easily. Use your Ujjayi if you decided to do that for your practice today. Good. Interlace your hands behind your back in your non-dominant way. Big shoulder roll, navel towards the spine so that we're keeping this more in the chest. You could reach the arms away from your back. Good. From here, bring the hands to the right side. Squeeze the elbows towards each other. And let the right ear hang towards the right shoulder, feeling this in the left side of the neck. Good. Okay, release that. Full stretch, arms up. Okay, straighten the left leg. Inhale. Squeeze the quads so you don't hyperextend. Exhale, reach forward and bring the left hand down. Right arm can go up. So again, this is a little bit more level 2-3 how I'm teaching to come into this pose. Okay, don't let the head hang. Keep the neck in line with the spine, shoulders away from the ears, both shoulders directly over the bottom leg. You can look down or sideways or up. Keep pushing into the outside edge of the back foot. Sanskrit is Trikonasana. Okay, bend the left knee, hands on either side of the left foot, coming into your low lunge. So this is all laid out in the downloadable PDF. Which parts of this would be more level 1, which parts would be more level 2-3. From here, keep your right hand down. Start to go onto the outside edge of the back foot. Walk the left foot in front of you, like more in front of you, the way you're facing now. Lift the hips, stay there, or stack the feet. Left arm up. Make sure you are on the knife edge of the bottom foot. Don't let the ankle touch. Don't let the calf or anything touch. Lift the hips up, Vashistasana. Okay, downward facing dog, full stretch. Let's move through a vinyasa. Inhale, come forward to plank, shoulders past the wrists. Exhale, 90 degrees with the elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog or a cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Roll the shoulders away from each other. Roll the forearms in. Push the hips up and back. Breathe. Okay. Bring the big toes together to touch. Bend the knees. Inhale, look forward. At the end of the exhale, walk or float to the front of the mat. Sometimes you might get lucky and catch it. Inhale, monkey pose. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Push into the feet. Look out in front of you. Inhale, rise up. Palms touch overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. Hold here and breathe. I'm going to grab a drink. You can feel free to do the same or stay focused on your drishti. And your affirmation. Okay, so now arms by your sides. This time I'll add in a chair so that you can see how I would do it. Sanskrit for chair is Utkatasana. Can you say it with me? Utkatasana. All right, good job. So again, we're starting up at the front of the mat, about a foot from the front of the mat. That's what I call the top of the mat, in your mountain pose feet. Okay, usually for chair, if possible, I do bring my big toes together to touch. I usually have my big toes together to touch for my mountain pose. But if it's really uncomfortable for you, again, they can be up to 2 inches apart, not 2 feet apart. Okay, but traditionally for chair, the big toes are touching. But again, I would keep the feet how they are for your mountain. Okay, so arms by your sides, My doggy's dreaming over there, so if you hear anything, he's just right off camera. Exhale, push down into the feet. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Palms can touch. Exhale, sit back into your chair, Utkatasana. Now look down, make sure you can see your toes and your ankles. So you really need to push your knees back. Navel towards the spine. We're not doing a back bend here. Make sure the shoulders are wrapped. Palms are pushing together, especially the pinky side edge of the hands. You could always add on here, make it harder and lift the heels. Inhale, reach the chest forward. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Feels good. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, I'll just show you the more level 1 flow just in case, or vinyasa. Exhale, step back to plank. Inhale, push forward. Exhale, you can lower the knees, lower down, elbows in, uncurl the toes. Inhale, Bhujangasana, Cobra Pose, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, lower down. Curl the toes under, try to lift the belly first. Inhale, push up to the knees. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. So if you can't do that with good form, then that's what you want to do. You don't want to move on and do, the more advanced variation of the vinyasa because you're not really building the strength that you need for more advanced poses. And you could get hurt. Okay, so from here, big toes touch. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, bring it through. Try not to lift the heel of the hand. Okay, and then from here, let's bring the back knee down. If you need to fold your mat over for a little bit more padding under the left knee, feel free to do that. Okay, and then slowly rise up for kneeling warrior, Anjaneyasana. Okay, so navel towards the spine, bringing your pelvis into neutral. From here, push the right knee forward as far as you can go without letting the booty pop out. Okay, navel towards the spine, neutral pelvis, tailbone's pretty much pointing down. Right knee should end up pretty much right on top of the ankle. I'm saying pretty much a lot, but that's okay. Arms up, wrap the shoulders. You can either stay there or bring the palms together to touch if that's available to you. Relax the shoulders though. Don't let them hike up towards the ears. Find your gazing point. Okay, level 1, left hand down to the ground or onto a block. Right hand to the right knee. Walk the right foot over and then just twist here, keeping the right knee pointing in the same direction as the right toes. Knee is directly on top of the ankle. Okay, so you can stay here. Otherwise, level 2, 3, lift the back foot carefully, reach back and grab it with the right hand. Level 3, left forearm onto the mat, keeping a hold of the foot. So you don't need to be giving this variation if nobody in your class should be doing this variation, right? You don't need to be doing it. This is not your practice. This is for your students. Well, this is your practice, but when you're teaching, that's not your practice. That's time for your students. Okay, carefully release that. Full stretch in downward facing dog. You could, if you have time, add in another Vashistasana or side plank. That would be fine. Otherwise, full stretch in down dog. So feel free to print these out so you can make notes as we go through if needed. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Big toes touch. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, bring it through low lunge. Back knee can come down. Rise up, kneeling warrior. Navel towards the spine, getting the pelvis into neutral. Push the left knee forward so it's right on top of the ankle pretty much, just not past. It can be a little bit behind. Arms up, wrap the shoulders. Palms can touch. I like to have my back toes curled under for this pose, but that's really your choice. Okay, level 1, right hand down, left hand to the left knee, walk the left foot over. You might want to have your students bring the right knee back a little bit more so that they're not at 90-degree angles with the knees. Okay, inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist, pushing off of the knee. They can stay here or for level 2, 3, reach back and grab, level 3 on the forearm. Left knee is directly on top of the ankle and pointing in the same direction as the toes. Hope you guys are getting warm because I sure am. I feel like I'm going to break a sweat here. Okay, release, downward facing dog, or if you did a side plank on the other side, do that now. Otherwise, downward facing dog. Full stretch. One more vinyasa here. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale lower. Inhale back bend. You could always even add in another push-up here. And up and back. Breathe here. Sorry about the sniffing. Good. So after I do the flow on each side, I usually do hold the down dog for about 5 breaths. At least 3. Sometimes people just rush through the down dog, but it's important to find some stillness there, I believe. Okay, so from there, walk the feet in a couple inches, big toes touch, bend the knees. Inhale, look forward. At the end of the exhale, walk or lightly float to the front of the mat. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Hips back, arms overhead. Exhale, rise. Bring the arms out to the sides for that one. Breathe here. Find your gazing point, your drishti. I feel gratitude often and easily. Good. Exhale, push down into the feet. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold, hands down through center. Inhale, flat back, monkey pose. Exhale, walk to plank. We're going to lower down on the count of 10, so you might want to lower the knees. We're going to push forward, you can lower the knees, and begin lowering down, elbows in. 10, 9, smile, navel towards the spine. 8, 7, 6, 5, we're halfway. The video didn't freeze. 4, 3, 2, hover, hover. 1, hover, 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 lower down. Crocodile pose. So place your forearms at the front of the mat, hands stacked, forehead to the top hand. So sometimes with level 2, 3, of course, you can get away with just saying the name of the pose. But if they haven't been practicing yoga for a while, I really feel like you're cheating your students and just kind of taking the easy way out to teach a class only focusing on the names, because your students don't know the names, right? And then they're going to feel stupid, like they don't know what they're doing. And the whole point of yoga is we want to empower, well, one of the points, we want to empower our students to help them know that they can do yoga, right? At least I hope so. It's definitely one of mine. All right, so from here, we will come into bow pose, okay? Now, maybe something that you would like to add before we do the kneeling warrior with the twist, you know, where we reached back, and I'm just spitballing here, I'm just giving you some alternate ideas while you are here in your Sphinx pose. So before we do that one, that can be a pretty intense quad stretch, right? So before you begin your flow number 1, when you're up at the front of the mat, so you did your puppy dog pose, then you went to down dog, then you came up to standing, you could do a standing quad stretch there, or whenever you come to your belly, you could do a quad stretch here if it's maybe more level 1 and they're not quite ready for that balancing pose. So you could do something like that. Then that way you're a little bit more prepared for that ankle grab in your kneeling warrior, as well as this pose here, bow. All right, so from here, I like to either come onto the chin or the forehead, okay, and then you're going to bend your knees, reach back and grab the ankles if possible. Now, it's okay to bring the knees apart in order to make the grab, but then bring the knees back towards each other so that they're parallel. Okay, if you can grab the ankles, flex the feet. From here, take a round of breath. Then on your next inhale, start to pull the feet back and lift the chest up. Now, I always tend to rock in this pose with the breath. It just happens. Tuck your chin a little bit so that you're not hurting your neck. You don't need to look up. That does not feel good. For me anyway. Good. Now carefully release. Come back to crocodile, but place the opposite hand on top. Whew. Take some cleansing breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. All right. So if you're short on time, maybe you only do that once. Otherwise, we're going to bend the knees. Now, if you're in a class also with people that can't do Dhanurasana, they can't grab both, just do one at a time. And again, you can just focus on the quad stretch, or you can bring the hand out in front and kind of get more of a back bend. That would be fine as well. But for today, we're going to grab both feet if possible. Take a round of breath. Then on your inhale, pull the feet back. Tuck your chin slightly. Breathe. Good. Now just release and rest on your left cheek, arms by the sides. Take some cleansing breaths if that feels good. Okay, very good. From here, bring your hands on either side of your chest. Slowly push yourself up and swing your feet around to seated. Okay. So what's going to happen here is we're just going to slow down the breath, okay? But we still are going to move into bridge or into wheel or into forearm wheel, okay? But I wanted to just come here and do some breathing first in Sukhasana and do one more spinal twist just to really help open up the spine for those deeper back bends. Okay, so let's just breathe here first. Can have the palms open, just with the intention of just releasing anything that you've worked up to the surface. Okay, good. Lower your head slightly and blink your eyes open and lift your head. So now moving on through the rest of the class, we won't be doing any vinyasas. We won't be linking the movement to the breath anymore. So we will switch into more of a V-Samavriti breathing where we inhale as far as we can go comfortably and then let the exhales be longer than the inhale. So if you're inhaling to 4, then see if you can exhale to 7. All right, let's move into Marichyasana. So bring your right knee in and the left leg out. So here I'm going to mirror you. I usually mirror my students whenever I'm facing head on. Okay, so right foot in, left foot out, left toes stay pointing straight up. That'll ensure that the knee's pointing straight up as well. I don't bring the right foot all the way in because that makes me round my back. Okay, for more level 1 students, you might want to sit your students up on a mat on a block or a bolster. From here, bring your right hand behind. I like to kind of pull my belly over my leg a little bit. On your inhale, sit up tall, and then exhale, twist. Notice also that my feet are about 4 inches, my foot is about 4 inches away from my leg. It's not together because that's narrower than hip width. So I like to keep it even just a little bit wider than hip width. If this is torquing your low back at all, you can take a little step back with your right butt cheek, for lack of a better term. Okay, on your inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. If you notice, I don't use a lot of, intense anatomy because your students in general don't know those terms. And again, I want to empower my students. I don't want them to feel stupid that they don't know what all these muscles are called, okay? But they know what a butt cheek is, right? I don't really put on any airs in my classes. What you see is what you get. Okay, good. And then come back to center and let's switch it out. So left leg in, right leg out. Keep the right toes pointing up. You can pull the belly over the leg. Okay, inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, twist. Maybe take a step back with the left butt cheek. Really sitting up tall. Of course, for more level 2, 3, you can take this into the deeper variations, maybe binding. Just keep the chest lifted. Relax the forehead, relax the jaw. Good. And then come back to center. All right, so from here for level 1, I would definitely demo what you're going to be doing laying down next, so that they're not trying to look at you while they're trying to go into bridge, or while they're trying to go into bridge. If it's more level 2, 3, they probably know how to do wheel, but you still might want to demo it first. Okay, so I'm going to demo it for you just so that you can see how I teach it and how I go into it. It's going to depend on you and your classes, and you know how often you teach this pose. If you teach it a lot and they know what they're doing, then you probably don't have to demo it, but you might have to. All right, so this is how I teach it. So you bend the knees, feet flat on the floor, feet a little bit wider than hip width. Going to bend the elbows, place the hands on either side of the ears with the fingers pointing towards the heels. Hands a little bit wider than shoulder width. I even like to turn the hands out a little bit. That just feels like it creates more space for the shoulders for me. From here, come onto the top of the head carefully. Now, watch my shoulders. I'm going to plug the shoulders in. So you're bringing your shoulders back towards the heels, then walk the hands back a little bit. Push into the hands, slowly lift. Maybe you can lift the heels so that you can begin to straighten the arms. Let the head hang. Okay, and then I would just say breathe here. From there, tuck your chin, lay down onto the back of the head, and then slowly come down. Okay, so that's how I would demo it. Then I would teach them how to go into it, right? Maybe you're going to be spotting some people. I don't know. That's up to you. I'm not teaching you how to spot in this. You have to sign up for my teacher training for that, okay? Otherwise, you can just go ahead and move into it. You probably don't need to do it again, right? Because your students aren't watching you anymore. Usually, whenever I lose eye contact with my students, that's whenever I stop doing the class, okay? It's not your practice. You need to be watching your students, okay? But if you need to do it in order to talk them through it, that's fine. So again, bend your knees, feet a little bit wider than hip width, bend the elbows, hands on either side of the ears, fingers pointing towards the feet or towards the heels. Hands can be turned out just a little bit. From there, you're going to push into the hands and the feet, gently come onto the crown of the head. Plug the shoulders in, so walk the shoulders back towards the heels for stability in the shoulders. Push into the hands and the feet, lift up. You can lift your heels up, wrap the shoulders, okay, so it's like you're trying to close your armpits, and breathe. Head hangs loose. After 3 to 5 breaths, tuck the chin, carefully come down to the back of the head, not to the top of the head, okay, and then feet wide, knees together. So knees are still bent, feet wide, knees together. Don't come into a forward fold in between the back bends, but you can do little twist here with the knees, just kind of windshield wipers, letting the knees go from side to side. Okay, and then we're going to do that one more time. So again, not everybody's going to be doing a wheel, okay? Some of your students might be doing bridge, especially if you're teaching level 1, you are not teaching wheel. Okay, so you would be teaching bridge instead. Let's do one more wheel. For this one, you can have less. You don't have to tell them as much how to get into it. You've already done it twice. You demoed it once. You talked them through it once. Now they can do it on their own, or they can choose to do bridge. Come down when you're ready. Windshield wiper the legs. Okay, good. Now, since we haven't really done any hip stretches, and I do like to hit on pretty much all the major joints and muscles in a yoga class, even if that's not our focus per se. So I want to do supine pigeon because it's also a forward fold. So forward folds would be considered a counter pose for back bends. Okay, so cross the left ankle over the right. So it's going to be basically just right below the right knee, not crossing it all the way over. Keep the foot active, meaning you're pushing into the heel and the ball of the foot. Ankle is stable, knee is turning out. Okay, from here, you can start to pull the right knee in towards the chest, interlace the fingers behind the back of the leg. Now you want your head to be relaxed onto the mat. And also, if you need to feel more of a stretch, try not to let your booty roll up. Lengthen your tailbone or your sacrum down onto the mat. Drawing the right knee in, pushing the left knee away. Relax the head, relax the shoulders, keep them plugged in. Relax the forehead, relax the jaw, really slowing down the breath. Remember, breathe in maybe to 4 or 5, exhale to 5, 6, or 7. And close your eyes if that feels good. And switch it out. Again, ankle is stable. The sides might feel totally different. It's okay. In general, I say if one side is way tighter than the other, then maybe you just hold the tight side for 2, 3 more breaths. I feel gratitude often and easily. Very good. And release. Bring both knees in towards the chest. Rock a little bit from side to side. You can extend the legs up, maybe just have a gentle bend in the knees, pulling the legs in slightly, maybe coming up towards the calves, maybe grabbing the feet, whatever feels good. Bend the knees again. And then full body stretch. But if you want a bolster under your knees for Shavasana, you can grab that now. All right. From here, full body stretch, reach your arms overhead, feet in the opposite direction, maybe a little arch in the back. And then bring your arms down by your sides, roll the shoulders away from the ears, feet as wide as the mat, let the feet fall out or in, whichever way they naturally fall. Hands are a little bit wider than the mat, palms facing up. Close your eyes. Take a couple cleansing breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then just slow it down. Letting go of any tension that could be left. Letting the back of the body get heavier and heavier. Let the front of the body get lighter and lighter. Creating space in the center of the body. Stay still, stay quiet. Start to deepen your breath. And bring some movement back to the fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. You can do another full body stretch if you'd like, just to wake up every part of the body. And then start to bend your knees, placing your feet onto the floor. Roll onto your right hand side using your right arm for a pillow. Take a couple breaths here. Just making the transition nice and slow so that we don't jar ourselves out of our state of relaxation. Then with the strength of your arms, slowly push yourself up to seated. Let your head be the last thing to come up. Keep the eyes closed, cross your legs, put your non-dominant leg in front, pull the flesh away from the sitting bones, coming into your favorite cross-legged position. Palms open on the knees, chin parallel to the ground, come back to the breath. From here, let's do this heart chakra pranayama. It's really a visualization that I got from ShaktiYogaWheel.com, just to give it proper credit. Okay, so from here, I want you to start to visualize. Just bring awareness to the place in between the shoulder blades. Really bring your awareness there. And then visualize as you inhale, bringing the energy up towards the crown of the head. As you exhale, go from the crown of the head forward to the front of the chest, the front of the heart center. Inhale through the heart center and backing up to the crown of the head. Exhale forward and down through the heart center. So repeat like that. It's like you are creating this loop with your breath. Inhale, backing up. Exhale, forward and in. Just really see this energetic pathway you're creating. Connecting heart and mind. Cultivate a feeling of gratitude here as you're clearing this energetic pathway. Let your lips form a slight smile. Feel that gratitude. Normal if you start to feel tingling anywhere. I actually feel tingling in my hands and the soles of my feet. So it's totally normal. From here, circle the hands together in front of the heart. Let's close our practice with one Om. Take a deep breath in. And then you can bow your head. Bring your thumbs from your heart center up to your third eye. Acknowledge the energy that's within you. Thank yourself for committing to your practice today, committing to yourself and committing to learning for your students and for yourself. But I thank you so much for letting me guide you through this practice. Thank you so much, and you can lift your head. So something that I've been discussing a lot with my yoga teachers, going through my yoga teacher training programs, is the use of namaste. So this is really something I think that is very personal to each and every teacher. I think that cultural appropriation is a very important topic, but I also believe that sometimes people can use certain things in order to make other people feel like they're not as good of a teacher because they're not quite as aware maybe. And again, just because one person says something's right or wrong, there's another person that says that the opposite is true. So it's really just important to listen to your heart. I still do like to use the word namaste. What I've learned through my studies is that in some parts of India, they say namaste just as a greeting. But in other parts of India, they say namaste as a greeting and as saying goodbye. Okay, so is there really any right or wrong? I don't know. I probably will continue to use namaste, but I'm always open to learning more. And so at some point I might stop learning it or using it. But I just want you to know that just because I lead yoga teacher trainings, I'm not dogmatic. I'm always open to learning and adjusting and growing. And so I really hope that you can do the same and just be open to learning and growing as well, because that really does set a good example for your students and to help you enjoy the journey, not just the destination, right? Because we are here, we are practicing yoga to enjoy this journey and to make it more enriching and to learn and grow. Thank you so much for joining me in this class today, all about gratitude to help you get over feelings of overwhelm. I know that that's one of the biggest struggles that so many women have and a lot of yoga teachers as well. So please let me know in the comments if you feel a little bit better. That's all I ask. I don't need to teach the most amazing life-changing classes, but I do hope that you feel better. So please let me know in the comments if you feel just a little bit better even than when you began the practice, because it helps me to know that this work is important and I need to keep putting these videos out. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you like so that you don't ever miss any of these videos. I put out a new video each week. Some of the videos do come from my membership site. So on the membership site, I've got sequences that you can download. I've got the class plans that have the themes and the mudras and the mantras and everything that you can add as well. There's a big library that we're growing to every day, as well as a lot more videos just like this one and short personal practices as well. So I hope that you can give that a try. It's only $19 a month, but you can try it out for free for 7 days. And if it's not something that you need, then you can cancel. But it's specifically for yoga teachers or people that want to be yoga teachers to just help you to overcome a lot of the hurdles that I faced early on so that you can go out and just spread your light instead of worrying about all these other things that go into planning a weekly class. So again, thank you so much for being here. Have a great day. Bye.